Chapter 281. After Scizor had trained the move Sandstorm to the expert rank, the move was not only bigger or quicker to prepare, but a few other things also changed. The duration of the move was now longer and Scizor could more easily influence the Sandstorm. Now Scizor can make his Sandstorm so that it is difficult for Pokémon to see where Scizor is without using another move to make this possible. Scizor and Electrode, which were still very close to each other, were enveloped by a dense stream of sand so that both trainers can no longer see the Pokémon. Alex, who didn't say an order, knew that Scizor would do exactly the same thing in the Sandstorm as in his fight in the tournament where he had used the same tactics. He would use Roost when he noticed that he was suffering minor damage and otherwise use his buff moves. Also using Sandstrom when he noticed that his Sandstrom move was almost over. LT. Surge gave a calm expression as he said, "Electrode, don't let Scizor run away from you while you're preparing your next rollout." But even in such a dense sand stream, it is not impossible to see Scizor when you are very close, and because Electrode is already very close he can still see Scizor. Alex was surprised by the quick and perfect response from Lieutenant Surge. He immediately started thinking about a tactic that would defuse this situation, or that rollout would defeat Scizor. Rollout on the expert rank move not only has the typical advantages of an expert rank move such as damage or preparation time, but also because it makes it easier to hit with the move. So with even the last 3 of 5 rollout moves, Electrode had a good chance to hit Scizor with it. Even if the damage from the move is not as big in this world as in the games, that's enough to defeat Scizor directly with 3 or even 2 hits. Alex responds in less than 1 second when he said, "Scizor, use all your weight and strength and let Electrode fly like a ball." LT. Surge, who heard this, showed a very surprised expression and at first didn't understand the reason, but after a second he showed a serious expression. Normally, Pokémon don't use attacks that aren't moves in combat because they are much weaker and don't do much damage. Pokémon's bodies are very good and hardly take any harm from any of these attacks. This has a lot to do with the energy used in every move that really hurts a Pokémon. Even weak moves like Tackle use normal type energy, which does the real damage from that move. Alex, who gave Scizor such an order, did not want to cause any damage, but rather to sling the Electrode far enough away from Scizor so that he could no longer see him in the Sandstorm. And because Alex didn't use a move to do that, Scizor could attack immediately and Lieutenant Surge didn't have time to react. Scizor responds immediately and uses both of his arms and all of the weight of his body to fling Electrode away like a yoga ball. Electrode, who was only 1 meter away from Scizor and had almost finished his next rollout, had no time to evade and was sent several meters to fly. Thanks to its weight, the Electrode does not fly any further, but its unstable body shape makes it impossible not to fly several meters away. LT. Surge showed a look of shock when he saw Alex taking advantage of the ball-like body shape of the Electrode to destroy his tactics directly without giving him a chance at a counter. Electrode showed an annoyed expression as he rolled several meters and when he realized that the move Rollout was finished. If Rollout is not used almost immediately when it is done, the whole move will be interrupted, and because Electrode can no longer see Scizor, he knew that it would be impossible to maintain the condition. LT. Surge made a serious expression when he said, "Electrode, use Swift." Alex, who had expected something like that, showed a smile. The LT. Surge didn't know that Scizor had the move Roast on the expert rank was a huge advantage in this case. Scizor, who is in the Sandstrom, started to use Sword Dance again even without Alex's orders. Shortly before Electrode finished his move, Lieutenant Surge said, "Electrode, after using Swift, follow the attack that will lead you to Scizor and use E1 when you are in range." Electrode was using Swift and then followed a relatively slow move with his quick pace as he prepared E1. That's really impressive that he used Swift like that. With his long fighting experience, he probably knows a lot of such tricks, thought Alex when he heard the words from Lieutenant Surge. Alex was really impressed with Lieutenant Surge's tactics and skill. He felt that he was probably the strongest trainer he had fought against in terms of tactics. Scizor barely had time to react before Swift began to fly faster and faster in his direction while Electrode followed this move. Alex had a bad feeling about what E1 means, and the main reason for this feeling is that Lieutenant Surge was using a code word for this move and that this move must at least be on the expert rank or Electrode could not prepare this move while running. Electrode only had 2 other plus expert rank moves that have not yet received a code word. Explosion and Thunderbolt, but only because of the E. In E1, he didn't think that it was necessarily the move Explosion because of it. Alex didn't feel that he had more time to think about it or that it would help to make a decision. He said loudly, "Scizor, use Protect." Due to the sandstorm, Alex cannot see which energy Electrode is absorbing and his psychic powers can only feel the life energy of Electrode, so that he has no idea which move Electrode is preparing. LT. Surge, who showed a serious expression the whole fight, suddenly had a little smile on his face. Electrode that came before Scizor finished his move and he used Thunderbolt that he had already prepared. Alex showed a slightly annoyed expression when he didn't hear an explosion but an electrical discharge. LT. Surge said, E1. Alex said at the same time, "Scizor, use X Scissor and let this golf ball fly again." Although Electrode can find Scizor again with the help of Swift, he has to use a normal rank move, so Alex likes to force Electrode to use that move again. Scizor and Electrode started almost simultaneously. Electrode started a little earlier. Electrode finished first in the end and hit Scizor with Thunderbolt, which did Scizor good damage. He loses more than 20% from that one hit. Together with the first 2 hits from Electrode, Scizor only had a little more than half of his HP left. Scizor showed no expression when he took the pain of the hit and he used X Scissor with a cold expression. Together with 2 sword dances, this one hit made incredible damage to Electrode. Electrode not only flew more than 10 meters but loses more than 60% of its HP. LT. Surge looked serious when he heard the painful scream from Electrode. Electrode, use Swift. Alex said at the same time, "Scizor, use Roost." Scizor finished first and used Roost to heal himself. Alex said out loud, "Scizor, use X Scissor and wait for Electrode to come to you." When Scizor started preparing the move X Scissor, Electrode finished the move Swift and used it almost immediately. LT. Surge said, T1 with a serious expression. Alex knew exactly which move was left from Electrode, where Electrode can move at the same time, and had a new code word. But none of his moves are fast enough to be finished quickly as a master rank move, and Scizor is not nearly as fast as Electrode, so running away does not help. Only X Scissors that have already started to be prepared can be used. Alex says loudly, "Scizor, use X Scissor directly." Scizor looked in a direction where he heard the sound of the Swift move and he got ready to hit Electrode as early as possible. Swift hit him and did a bit of damage, but Scizor ignored it and just tried to use X Scissor as soon as possible on the Electrode that was only 2 meters from him. But Electrode finished his move and he used his deadliest move right away. A loud explosion could be heard by everyone outside the arena, and the sandstorm was completely interrupted by the air pressure of the explosion. Scizor, who had to endure a master rank explosion from very close range, lay consciously on the floor with a lot of injuries. Electrode using this move didn't look much better and actually had more injuries. Chapter 282. Alex quickly went to Scizor and started healing him with a super potion. LT. Surge also went before his Pokémon with a serious expression and started to heal it with a super potion. After Alex stopped Scizor's bleeding and most of the injuries began to heal, he put Scizor back to his Pokéball. He looked in the direction of Lieutenant Surge when he said, "The difference to Erica is really big." LT. Surge heard Alex's words and said with a small smile, "Even if you praise me, I can't agree with you." He looked at Alex seriously as he said, "I saw your fight with the little girl and I think you have no idea of the strength of the little girl. I've been training this Electrode for 5 years and that's why it's so much stronger than the Pokémon that the little girl has for an A rank badge, but that doesn't mean that she is weak." Alex understood what Lieutenant Surge said. When it comes to A rank badges, Erica is much weaker than LT Surge because she didn't have that much time to train her Pokémon for this level group. But if she uses her strongest Pokémon, Erica shouldn't be much weaker than LT Surge. Lieutenant Surge's Pokémon for this level group, 40 to 49, had even more time in terms of training time than his Pokémon. Alex said in a joking tone, "I was expecting your A rank badge to be harder to get than Erica's badge, but I didn't think it was such a ridiculous increase in difficulty." LT Surge looked at Alex and said in a joking tone, "Are you going to give up, kid?" Alex smiled as he looked coldly at Lieutenant Surge. "No, I hope you don't disappoint me, old man." LT. Surge, who saw Alex's gaze, showed a big smile and started to laugh a little. "You make me a little excited. It's been a long time since I got such a good fight at this level." When the camera recorded this exchange between Alex and Lieutenant Surge, the audience numbers started getting bigger and bigger. Such a thrilling and impressive fight has not been seen in gym leaders' fight for a long time, so that many spectators tuned in when they heard that this fight was about to take place. The respective TV station even gets commentators for this fight in order to increase the number. Alex and Lieutenant Surge got ready to call their next Pokemon as they both waited for the referee's signal. Umbreon and Magneton appeared in the arena at the same time. Pokemon. Magneton. LV. 45. Type. Electric, Steel. Abilities. Magnet Pull. Gender. Genderless. Potential. Silver. Moves. Supersonic. Tackle. Thunder Shock. Magnet Bomb. Thunder Wave. Light Screen. Sonic Boom. Spark. Mirror Shot. Metal Sound. Electro Ball. Screech. Discharge. Innate Talent. Flash Cannon M. TM Protect. TM Thunderbolt. ETM Facade. A level 45 and a level 47 Pokemon. Although his last Pokemon doesn't have to be level 49. That is very unlikely, thought Alex. Alex didn't believe the Lieutenant Surge is a trainer who does not use all his strength against a strong opponent. 3, 2, 1, go. LT. Surge said. M1 quickly. Umbreon started to prepare her move first and Magneton started to prepare his move shortly thereafter. Alex didn't use any direct commands at the beginning, and that's why his Pokemon started preparing his move a little earlier. Although it limited his flexibility a lot, Alex felt that in most cases it was worth it. Although Umbreon started preparing her move earlier, Magneton finished first. Magneton used Flash Cannon and hit Umbreon with it, who was only 30 meters away. Umbreon's body was hit and she lost almost 20% of her HP from that one hit. Alex looked serious when he saw the injury on Umbreon. Magneton's attack power cannot be underestimated, especially if it is using a master rank move. Single quote. Even with the 2-level advantage of Umbreon and the very good SP def value of Umbreon, the damage was not small. LT. Surge said. Again, when he saw the damage, Umbreon ignores the pain and uses Work Up. Then she immediately started preparing a new move. She strictly adheres to Alex's plan that she was given before the fight. When Magneton didn't move, Umbreon started running in his direction as she prepared her move. Although Magneton is usually a bit faster than the Umbreon, Umbreon is 2 levels higher, which makes the Umbreon a bit faster than Magneton in this case. Magneton finished first and used Flash Cannon again, which this time did even more damage than the last time. Alex looked serious when he saw Umbreon lose almost 25% of his HP this time. Does Flash Cannon's chance of lowering Umbreon's speed def increase when it's on the master rank, or am I just unlucky? Although the increase in damage was not very large, it is a dangerous game if you allow the Magneton to lower the speed def of Umbreon even more. Alex stayed calm when he said, "Old man, you're unlucky that I didn't expect a long fight." Umbreon use Double Kick. LT. Surge saw the Umbreon was 8 meters from Magneton and he quickly said, "Magneton use Protect." Alex, who heard the words of Lieutenant Surge, showed a smile. He waited until Umbreon got the perfect distance from Magneton so the Lieutenant Surge could give his order in time, but didn't have enough time to think about it. Umbreon can do the Double Kick move, but that move is not on the expert rank. She saw Magneton set up a protective shield and she started using Work Up after seeing Magneton waste this important move. Lieutenant Surge saw how he wasted Protect, but he showed a calm expression. Umbreon use Payback. M1 and keep your distance from Umbreon. Lieutenant Surge heard Alex wanted to use a dangerous move again, but this time he wasn't ready to change his strategy because of it. If he tells Magneton not to use Flash Cannon immediately when it's done to counter Payback, and in the end waste time because Umbreon uses another move, we might fall for another trick. If Umbreon ended up using another move first and then immediately using Protect to block Magneton's attack, the fight would turn into an extremely disadvantageous situation. That's why Lieutenant Surge ignores Alex's words and tries to be on the safe side. Magneton tried to run away from Umbreon but wasn't faster and couldn't shake Umbreon off. Although Magneton couldn't build up a distance, he finished first and he used Flash Cannon again to avoid Umbreon. Umbreon's body had more large wounds and was bleeding from several places. But despite the pain, Umbreon looked indifferent. LT. Surge said with a serious expression, M2. When Magneton started preparing his new move, Umbreon finished her move. Payback. Umbreon's paws were enveloped in dark energy, and when Magneton was hit by that energy, Magneton was struck to the ground by the pure force. Magneton's body had a very large dent and was in terrible condition. A critical hit. Alex, who noticed that Magneton was almost defeated, quickly said, Umbreon, use quick attack. Umbreon responded before Magneton or Lieutenant Surge had a chance to respond and hit Magneton with quick attack. Magneton with less than 5% HP fell to the ground unconscious. Chapter 283. Alex looked happy. The critical hit made this fight shorter and allowed Umbreon to take a little less damage. But, Alex still thinks that Umbreon would have won this fight in the end even without a crit. Umbreon, who won this fight, suddenly felt that her whole body had become a bit lighter. Alex also noticed the expression Umbreon and he looked at the info from Umbreon. Pokemon. Umbreon. LV. 48. Type. Dark. Ability. Synchronize. Gender. Female. Potential. Shallow Diamond. Moves. Growl. Tackle. Tail Whip. Quick Attack. Double Kick. Sand Attack. Bite. Swift. Takedown. Double Edge E. Helping Hand. Charm. Baton Pass. Work Up E. Pursuit. Moonlight. Mean Look. Last Resort. Guard Swap. Perfect Talent. Rest E. Perfect Talent. Sleep Talk E. TM Toxic. TM Shadow Ball. TM Facade E. TM Protect. TM Attract. TM Psychic. TM Substitute. TM Snarl. TM Payback E. TM Psych Up. TM Return. TM Taunt. TM Hyper Beam. Umbreon has gone up a level after this victory is really good timing, thought Alex as he looked at the level of Umbreon. When the next fight started, Alex went to Umbreon and told her which move she should prepare immediately after the fight started. LT. Surge went to his Pokemon and started healing it. Although this fight ended in an unfortunate result for him, he had not expected a victory against Umbreon from the start. He knew that the level advantage would be a major disadvantage and that his main goal is to do as much damage to Umbreon as possible and prevent it from reinforcing itself too often. The referee called both trainers to get ready and asked Lieutenant Surge to call his next Pokemon. Pokemon. Pikachu. LV. 49. Type. Electric. Abilities. Lightning Rod. Hidden ability. Gender. Male. Potential. Gold. Moves. Growl. Thunder Shock. Tail Whip. Quick Attack E. Double Kick. Double Team. Thunder Wave. Light Screen. Thunderbolt. Slam. Agility. Thunder. Innate Talent Thunderbolt M. Innate Talent Encore E. Innate Talent Reversal E. TM Protect. TM Facade. TM Toxic. TM Hyper Beam. TM Grass Knot. TM Volt Switch. TM Brick Break. Alex, who saw the next Pokemon, felt relieved that it was not Raichu, but when he saw the moves and the move mastery of this Pikachu he showed a serious expression. He was sure that this Pokemon from Lieutenant Surge is very valued by him and will probably be added to his main team after a few years. 3, 2, 1, go. LT. Surge gave a small smile when he said, E1. Umbreon started preparing her move earlier than Pikachu, who started a little later. Although Pikachu started a little later, it finished first. Pikachu began to discharge electricity from his body and turn it into a lightning bolt that flies rapidly in the direction of Umbreon. Umbreon was hit and made a painful expression. It looked to Alex as if this move was too much for her and he showed a slightly worried expression. Umbreon felt her head lighten, but by using the move that she had prepared, she catches up. She began to go to sleep and her injury began to visibly heal. LT. Surge looked at the sleeping Umbreon and said with a smile, Pikachu, it's time for our special move. Pikachu also started to prepare for this special move, even if he didn't move. Alex saw this and his first thought is, he's combining a move with the Thunderbolt on the master rank. Umbreon started to prepare, sleep talk, and Alex couldn't influence this situation. Besides that, he doesn't necessarily have a plan to move to a counter that he doesn't know or understand. Umbreon finished first and used rest that had no effect. Alex suddenly felt that Umbreon can only use expert rank moves when sleep talk is on the expert rank, sometimes even a disadvantage. Although this is usually an advantage, it can backfire if you are unlucky. Pikachu suddenly began to move, and after each step, his body began to surround itself more and more with electricity. Pikachu was also getting faster and faster as he ran in a straight line towards Umbreon with a ridiculous speed. Umbreon, who couldn't move, was hit directly and thrown more than 15 meters away as Pikachu tackled Umbreon with his extended speed. Alex, who saw this, had the feeling that this move was a combo of Thunderbolt and Quick Attack. Umbreon's body had multiple injuries, and Alex would estimate that she had lost more than 50% HP from that one hit. Fortunately, Quick Attack, like Protect, cannot be used more than once in a short fight, so that he no longer has to worry about such a ridiculous move. But when Alex saw this ridiculous harm from Pikachu, he thought about a combo that is very similar and that one of his Pokémon can probably use. Overheat plus Quick Attack plus Speed Boost. As Alex thought about this possibility, he felt like he should thank Lieutenant Surge after this fight, no matter how it turns out. LT. Surge showed a satisfied smile and he said, E1. Umbreon, who was almost done with her next move, suddenly woke up and the move, Double Edge, was ready for her to use. She didn't wait for Alex but looked at Pikachu, who was only 15 meters away, and ran towards Pikachu with a cold-blooded expression. The normal type energy enveloped her whole body, and for a moment she ran towards Pikachu with a high-caliber feeling. Pikachu finished after Umbreon was only 5 meters away and immediately used Thunderbolt to avoid Umbreon. Umbreon ignored the pain and rammed Pikachu with all her strength. Pikachu flew several meters and suffered several serious injuries. He lost more than 40% of HP from that one hit. Umbreon also suffered damage, and together with the Thunderbolt from Pikachu, it doesn't have much HP left. Another hit from Thunderbolt and she felt that she passed out. LT. Surge said coldly, E1. Alex, who had no move, who is done just as quickly as a master rank move, and the Protect only delayed the inevitable, knew that it was over. Umbreon used rest and tried to evade Thunderbolt. Alex didn't want to give up if there was a small chance. Unfortunately, Umbreon couldn't evade Thunderbolt and fell unconscious to the ground. Chapter 284. Alex goes to Umbreon and he starts healing her as he thinks about his next strategy. Although Pikachu is already injured and had less than 60% of his HP, Alex didn't think he had already won. His last Pokémon is only at level 46 and a 3-level disadvantage is not small. He called Umbreon back to her Pokeball and called his next Pokémon. Blaziken, who had followed the whole fight in the Pokeball, showed an excited expression when she appeared in the arena. He went to Blaziken and whispered which moves she should use as soon as the referee gave the signal to start. Alex had also thought about calling Ditto, but unfortunately, Ditto wasn't strong enough as long as he hadn't trained the move Transform on the master rank. 3, 2, 1, go. LT. Surge said quickly, E1. Blaziken started preparing her move earlier than Pikachu, who had to wait for the order. LT. Surge noticed that too, but it didn't bother him. Umbreon started a bit earlier too, but in the end, Pikachu finished first his prepared move. He helped it very unlikely that Blaziken, who had a lower level than Scizor and Umbreon, had a master rank move if those two Pokémon didn't have one. Alex saw how everything went according to plan and showed a small smile. Blaziken finished first when she immediately used Attract after the move was done. Pikachu, who was about to finish his move, suddenly felt an indescribable feeling as he looked in the direction of Blaziken. He suddenly felt that he couldn't attack such a beautiful Pokémon. Pikachu broke off the preparation of his move and looked at Blaziken with a paralyzed expression. LT. Surge said aloud, fuck, this Blaziken has Attract at the master rank. Pikachu, wake up, wake. Alex smiled when he saw how Attract had worked. While it is harder to hit a Pokémon that is of a higher level than Blaziken, it is not unlikely when one considers that Attract is on the master rank. Blaziken didn't waste any time and started preparing her next move when Pikachu watched her with a silly smile. LT. Surge tried to wake up Pikachu with his loud scream, but it didn't work. Blaziken was finished with her move and the whole arena got warmer when she was using Sunny Day. Alex did a few tests with the move Attract and noticed that a Pokemon has a higher probability of waking up when it is in pain, so that he knows which moves he should use in such a situation. Unfortunately, he also found out that loud noises also influence the move Attract, and now that Lieutenant Surge was shouting like that, he didn't think Pikachu was stunned for long. Especially if he takes into account his level advantage over Blaziken. Blaziken started preparing a move again when Pikachu stopped paralyzed, looking at Blaziken. Blaziken also started running in the direction of Pikachu as she prepared her new move. LT. Surge said with an annoyed expression, E1. Pikachu started preparing his next move with a slightly embarrassed expression on his face. Blaziken finished her move first and hit Pikachu with Flamethrower, who was only 10 meters away. Pikachu suffered multiple burn injuries and lost a little more than 20% of his HP. Alex smiled when he said, Blaziken use Protect. Pikachu used Thunderbolt and destroyed Blaziken's protective shield almost immediately. Although Blaziken can't block the whole hit, she prevented most of the damage and only lost 10% of HP. LT. Surge said quickly, R1. Alex, who heard this, reacts quickly, Blaziken use Overheat. He didn't know the meaning of the code word R1, but that didn't matter to him in this situation. Alex knew that Pikachu only had one move on the master rank and it would be impossible for him to be faster than Blaziken, who is preparing a master move, even if she started a little later as him. As long as Pikachu can't use Protect to protect himself from this attack, the fight is over. LT. Surge showed a calm expression, but his thoughts were in a disorder. Is that a second master rank move? No. That has to be a trick. That shouldn't be possible to trainer 2 master rank moves so quickly if he gets these Pokemon from the rookie tournament. This kid is really smart. I almost fell for his trick again. Single quote. Blaziken, who was only 10 meters away from Pikachu, finished her move and used it immediately with an excited expression. Overheat sent Pikachu unconscious to the ground and ended the battle with Alex's victory. Chapter 285. After Lieutenant Surge had healed his Pikachu and called it back to his Pokeball, he started walking towards Alex. He took out a small box with an A-rank Thunder badge and gave it to Alex with a smile. LT. Surge said with a small smile, take it, kid. You deserve it. Alex, who could learn a lot from this fight and even got new ideas on how to combine his master rank moves, had great respect for Lieutenant Surge. He smiled as he said, thank you very much. I really learned a lot fighting you. LT. Surge started laughing. Haha, you bastard, you are really good at lying and you even show such a believable expression. You were really good at it. No wonder that you used so many tricks in the fight. Alex gave a slightly speechless expression. That wasn't a lie. Besides, I'm not the only one who used tricks, or am I, old man? LT. Surge stopped laughing and patted Alex's shoulder as he seriously said, kid, that was a joke. Alex looked at the face of Lieutenant Surge and for a moment didn't know what to say. He didn't expect the Lieutenant Surge, who always looked so serious, would make a joke in such a situation. LT. Surge gave a small smile when he said, but the fight was really good. I haven't had such a great fight at this level in a long time. Then he suddenly showed a serious expression, but, you're a bit weird. Alex looked at Lieutenant Surge with an expression like, and you're not. LT. Surge smiled when he said, no, you get me wrong. I mean the positive. In our fight, I learned several things from you and that's not something that happens often. You are really a weird monster that will be really strong in the future. He said the last sentence in a dry tone and with a serious expression. Alex said with a calm and relaxed expression, old man, I don't like it when people praise me and I don't know why they're doing that. Let us put the cards on the table. LT. Surge laughed and said, haha, kid, you think too much. I like your character and have great expectations for your future, so I'll just say my honest words. Alex just smiled and said nothing further on the subject. He and Lieutenant Surge keep talking about Pokemon training and other subjects for a long time. Both exchanged their contact details and Alex felt the Lieutenant Surge is an interesting person even if he is not quite sure about the motives of Lieutenant Surge. There are many possible reasons and Alex cannot say for sure which is the truth. It may be that he really likes Alex's character and wants to build a good relationship. But it could just as well be that he sees Alex as a possible threat to Team Rocket and he wants to watch him. There are many possibilities and even several possibilities at the same time that can be correct so that Alex is not sure how he should treat Lieutenant Surge. Alex didn't really believe that Lieutenant Surge saw him as a threat to Team Rocket, especially because it wasn't necessarily true. Team Rocket or the Alliance. For Alex, his personal benefit is most important and neither of these two organizations has his full support. Although Team Rocket is an underground organization, Alex thinks about Team Rocket differently than most underground organizations. Team Rocket just wants to take control of the government and not do something crazy that endangers the whole Pokemon world. Apart from the fact that the leader of other organizations does not have a similar stable mental state as Giovanni. Alex's optimal situation is when he has a partner-like relationship with Team Rocket and the Alliance and can mostly show a neutral stance. But that requires a ridiculous strength in terms of own and personal strength. Although Alex hadn't made a firm plan yet and hadn't really made up his mind yet. Alex has a better relationship with Team Rocket so that he is not sure whether he can really make a step backward without provoking Giovanni. 3 hours later in Alex and Maria's private training room. Alex's Pokemon are training as usual when Alex suddenly notices Shuppet starting to glow. He quickly runs to Shuppet when he simultaneously fetches an item from his TRH device. Remains ashes of a champion Jengar with SS rank talent. That was the most expensive item that Alex had ever bought and at a price similar to the Born S Lapras that Misty had bought in the auction. Shuppet absorbed that remains similar to Ditto and his body began to glow more strongly. After a few seconds, Shuppet's body started to change and the glow became so strong that Alex could no longer look directly at Shuppet. After a moment the glow faded and a Bayonet became visible in front of Alex. Pokemon. Bayonet. LV. 38. Type. Ghost. Abilities. Cursed Body. Hidden Ability. Gender. Male. Potential. Shallow Diamond. Moves. Knock Off. Screech. Nightshade. Spite. Shadow Sneak. Will-O-Wisp. Feint Attack. Hex. Shadow Ball. Embargo. Destiny Bond E. Perfect Talent. Curse E. Perfect Talent. Phantom Force E. TM Protect. TM Calm Mind. TM Toxic E. TM Taunt E. TM Thunderbolt. TM Psychic. TM Payback. TM Thunder Wave. TM Dazzling Gleam. TM Substitute. Alex, who saw the info from Bayonet, had mixed feelings. He had a small hope that Bayonet would directly reach the diamond potential, but he had already expected that it would not be so easy to achieve. In terms of which moves remained as perfect talent moves, that's what got Alex thinking. He wasn't sure which of these moves are objectively the best because the fights in this world cannot be compared one-to-one to the fights in the games of his old world. Alex can imagine that a master rank curse is a really strong move. Especially because he had read a lot of stories about Bayonet who often has a talent with curse. He even read in a book that some moves for certain Pokemon species are easier to master than others with the same talent. In the book, only fewer Pokemon were tested so that he cannot be 100% sure whether it is true, but he also had no access to more knowledge about such research. It can also be completely lying, but to Alex, it sounded too reasonable to be a lie. There have been a lot of rumors from ordinary people in the Pokemon world that is very similar to the Pokédex entry Alex remembers. Bayonet generates energy for laying strong curses by sticking pins into its own body. Bayonet was originally a pitiful plush doll that was thrown away. Bayonet's energy would escape if it were to ever open its mouth. Alex knew that these rumors are nonsense, but the many stories that have been created from these rumors had one big thing in common for several generations that is not unimportant. Bayonet can use strong curses. These many stories of normal people in the world have shown since several generations is for Alex an indication that the Bayonet species probably really had a talent with the move Curse. In addition, because there are a lot of Pokemon that can use the move Curse and that only a few Pokemon have a similar reputation with the move as Bayonet, is an indication for Alex that these stories contain a bit of truth. Chapter 286. As Alex was thinking about these various things, Baynet started testing his new body. Baynet, who now had 2 arms, felt a bit strange to have 2 extra limbs, but after a little testing, he felt that it was very easy to control them and it felt very natural. Alex's other Pokémon started going to Baynet to congratulate him. Baynet, who looked a lot scary now, only showed a smile and started to hug all Pokémon once with his new arms. Now that he had arms, he could hug the people Pokémon that are important to him without any help. Alex looked at Baynet's face that showed a terrifying smile as he hugged all of the Pokémon and realized Baynet really had an extremely friendly personality, even though he was together with Crobat and Scizor among Alex's top 3 terrifying Pokémon. Baynet flew to Alex and gave him a hug after he hugged all the other Pokémon. Alex showed a gentle smile as he said, "It seems that you can now hug us without any help. Apart from that, you are now a good deal stronger." Baynet looked at Alex with a happy expression as if he completely agreed with Alex. Vulpix started running in the direction of Alex too, but in contrast to all other Pokémon, she had a pout on her face instead of a smile. "Father, why is Brother Shu Baynet allowed to evolve but not me? It's so unfair." Alex started to smile slightly as he said, "Oh, why do you want to evolve now?" Vulpix was puzzled by Alex's question for a moment, but after a few seconds she honestly said, "Because Brother Baynet has reached his final form and I don't want to lose to him." Alex felt as if he now understood why Vulpix is a bit unhappy. "I don't want to lose to him. Or maybe did you mean that you don't want to lose your best friend?" Vulpix showed a slightly shy expression when she heard Alex's words. "Father, don't make fun of me." Alex knew that Vulpix is a very proud Pokémon and wouldn't openly share his feelings like Baynet does, but now that he saw this expression from Vulpix he understood that Vulpix was really worried. "Don't worry, although with some Pokémon the personality changes slightly after it evolves, it doesn't change dramatically. I mean, look at Crobat, who already had the same personality when he was a Zubat." Crobat with his good hearing heard Alex's words and looked proudly as if Alex had praised him. Alex showed a smile. "Don't worry, your friend is still your friend." Vulpix showed a slightly happy expression and Alex thought, for a Pokémon that has almost reached the elite level, she's really cute. Though Crobat also had a cute side when he was a Zubat if you forget how many trainers he'd already killed. Single quote. "There's also a reason I'm waiting before I let you evolve." Vulpix showed a curious expression when she heard these words. "I talked to Professor Walder recently and we talked a bit about your Pokémon species. He knew a lot about your species because one of his colleagues from Alola often talked and exchanged knowledge with him." Alex smiled when he started the next sentence. "He told me that all Alola Vulpix at level 40 learn a special move. Although many Pokémon learn moves at similar levels, that's not always the case in this world," which was very confusing for Alex. Alex's theory is that it had to do with the many different games that all have different movesets levels. Although there are often similarities, the sequence is often different from Pokémon to Pokémon. The same was also the case with Scizor, who just didn't want to learn Sword Dance on his own and Alex had to buy a TM in the end. There are also some Pokémon species that don't follow these rules and all Pokémon from these species learn the same level moves at the same level or only deviate a bit. Alola Vulpix wasn't such a species, but there was a move that all Alola Vulpix learned from level 40 and no Alola Ninetales learned at the same level. This move that all Alola Vulpix species learned from level 40 is called Sheer Cold, and Alex, who knows this, wanted to make sure that Vulpix could learn this move. This knowledge is of course, like almost all useful knowledge in the Pokémon world, hard to get and not cheap. Fortunately, Alex and Professor Walder had a relatively good relationship and he did not have to pay anything for this knowledge, even if such a small sum did not matter to him. Alex really wanted Vulpix to be able to learn this move, and even if he had learned from Professor Walder that Alola Ninetales continue to learn moves even after they evolve, it is not the best option for Alex. Especially because Vulpix won't take long to reach level 40. Alex explained all this knowledge to Vulpix and made sure that she left the conversation with a smile. Then Alex's Pokémon started going back to their training and Alex started meditating again. After meditating every day for several months, he was now hardly comparable to a normal person in matters of direct strength. He has mainly trained 2 skills and neglected his other skills for them. The first is telekinesis, which is one of his first skills learned. Although at the beginning he couldn't move an object that weighs more than 1 kilogram with his thoughts, that has now changed. After several months his energy consumption, range, speed, and maximum weight improve. Alex also had 2 types of weapons made to support his new ability. The first weapon is a set of thick needles that allow you to add poison into them and, like a syringe, to immediately eject this poison from the needle head as soon as Alex applies a little pressure to the end of the needles. Although Alex likes to call these weapons dense needles and they looked so similar, they had more similarities to syringes than needles. The range is between 30 and 50 meters which, depending on the distance, affects energy consumption and speed. Alex's optimal range is 30 meters where he still had very good speed after his tests and hardly used any energy to use this weapon. The second weapon is much more direct and also the first weapon that Alex had to think of when he thought of his ability. A bag full of small steel bullets that looked similar to bullets used for guns, even if they are much denser. Alex tested these weapons and in the end, was very disappointed with the result. He couldn't move them with such a quick move that they were fatal or even caused an initial injury. Even if he was only 30 meters away, that was impossible. Alex still kept this weapon because the direct damage wasn't bad and was just much better than when he used his hands. It was less lethal than the poison but Alex also wanted a non-fatal attack if he needed it. Chapter 287. In contrast to the first skill, the second skill that Alex had trained is a skill with no possibility of causing damage. Alex called this skill Energy Shield and is, in Alex's opinion, his most important skill. Energy Shield only has a simple function but this one function is extremely useful. Alex can use his psychic energy to create an energy shield and repel attacks of all kinds. The strength of shield depends on how much psychic energy Alex puts into his ability. In addition, the activation length, size of the shield, and preparation time, which can affect the energy consumption. A rank 3 psychic like Alex had a certain amount of how much psychic energy his body has and how effectively he can use this energy. Alex tried a lot of methods but failed to increase his maximum psychic energy. He even tried to absorb the energy from a dead psychic type Pokemon, but that didn't affect his maximum psychic energy amount. Although Alex slowly restores his psychic energy when he sleeps or meditates, although meditation is more effective, he cannot exceed his maximum limit. When Alex realized that he couldn't exceed this limit with normal means, he began to think about a method to make his psychic energy more effective when it is used. If he has 100/100th psychic energy and he manages to improve the consumption of his skills so that he uses his psychic energy twice as effectively, then it is practically the same as having 200/200th psychic energy. It's even a little better because he can regenerate his psychic energy faster than when he has 200/200th psychic energy. In contrast to the limit with the maximum psychic energy that Alex can have in his body, he was able to improve the psychic energy consumption after he had used enough time to train his skills and as he tested ways to save energy when he used skills. Although the increase got smaller and smaller after several improvements, Alex was very happy with the progress. These several improvements allowed Alex to use his energy shield at an extremely useful level. Alex can, with a relatively small part of his psychic energy, create an invisible energy shield that can withstand all attacks from normal guns. Although maintaining the energy shield continued to consume psychic energy, that consumption was relatively bearable. In the Pokemon world, firearms aren't nearly as effective as Pokemon in terms of lethality. That's because a Pokemon at level 30 can easily kill a human with a weapon and that the weapons themselves are not as effective against humans as they are in Alex's old world. The physical abilities of people toughness in this world are many times better than in Alex's old world and the development of firearms is worse than in Alex's old world. It is still relatively practicable to kill a normal person with a weapon, but it is impossible with just a few shots of a weak firearm. Alex trained Energy Shield not only to protect himself against firearms but also to be able to block 1 or even 2 attacks from strong Pokemon. He tests how much his energy shield can withstand if he used a certain amount of his psychic energy for it. Alex was somewhat satisfied with the test, even though he noticed that the psychic energy consumption was ridiculously high when trying to block a move by an elite Pokemon. He had to use almost 50% of his psychic energy to block a normal rank aerial ace of Crobat. Alex also had to use approximately 90% of his psychic energy to block an expert rank move from Crobat. Fortunately, Alex did these tests very carefully, or the many moves that fly in his direction can result in injuries if not for something worse. Alex was extremely happy with the performance of Energy Shield even if the energy consumption was completely ridiculous. He planned to continue to train this ability and improve the energy efficiency in order to be able to block even stronger attacks. Alex searched for information on how to improve his psychic rank but found nothing useful. Alex had also asked Steven and looked for information he could exchange for money, but he found nothing useful. This would not only increase his maximum psychic energy limit but also massively increase his psychic energy efficiency. That was also the reason why a 2-rank psychic needs so long to learn extremely easy skills, even if its maximum psychic energy limit is not disproportionately worse than a 3-rank psychic. The combination of extremely poor psychic energy efficiency and extremely poor maximum psychic energy limit causes it. It was like multiplying two very small numbers. Alex knew that the difference between a rank 3 or rank 4 psychic is smaller, even if he did not know how much better a normal rank 4 psychic is to a rank 3 psychic. He knew that Sabrina, who is a rank 5 psychic, had now similar strengths to a late elite psychic type Pokemon and was improving every day. Alex didn't intend to match this monster, especially because for him his psychic powers are not his main strength and only a useful bonus. Alex would be happy to find a way to become a rank 4 psychic, but that wasn't his main goal. He doesn't know if there is a way to improve his psychic potential, even if he suspects that a psychic item from a full-blood legendary Pokemon should make it possible to improve his potential. But he'd rather give his Pokemon this item when he gets it, than become a rank 4 psychic himself. He is already very satisfied that in a direct match against a human, he would almost always win. Alex thought, as long as I don't have to fight alone against Bruno, Koga, Sabrina, or similar strong superhumans, I should be considered a powerful human. When he had this thought he couldn't help but laugh a little. Haha, what nonsense. I should rather compare myself to a rank 4 psychic than think about comparing myself to such monsters. Chapter 288. 10 days later, when Alex was training in his and Maria's private training room, Alex's TRH device started ringing. Alex looked at his cell phone-like device and saw Maria write to him that she would be back from her training in the wilderness in half an hour. The reason why Maria came back from her wildness training earlier was that Giovanni started giving rewarding missions to the participants. To be precise, this morning Alex had a message from Lisa and several missions from which he or his subordinate could participate. Alex looked at the 20+ missions and noticed a few peculiarities compared to normal missions that Team Rocket Mission Center has. The first peculiarity is that the reward for almost all missions is extremely generous and relatively disproportionate for the work done. Even if they look bad compared to each other, they are at least many times better than in the Team Rocket Mission Center. The second specialty that Alex noticed was that the value of this mission deviated extremely, and there were missions that are many times more worthwhile than others. Especially when he saw a certain mission and compared it with an average mission that was available for selection, he noticed how different the rewards are for the performance. Mission objective. Find Liam Grand and collect information about his activities over the past 30 days. Especially the information about the Pokemon trade-in. Mission duration. After accepting the task must be completed within 7 days or a fine must be given for not completing the task. In addition, giving insufficient information is considered failure. An amount of 50,000 TR points must be referred to the mission within 3 days. Not fulfilling that reward. 500,000 TR points which are transferred within 1 day. Mission objective. Kill a main Pokemon from Gym Leader Brock without being discovered by him or anyone else. Corpse or other evidence. Mission duration. After accepting the task must be completed within 3 days or a fine must be given for not completing the task. Insufficient evidence. Failure. 1 million TR points. Reward. 1,500,000 TR points which are transferred within 1 day. Killing a main Pokemon from Gym Leader Brock is a ridiculously risky and difficult mission. Not necessarily because of Brock's strength but because of the consequences after attacking a gym leader. The reward for such a mission is ridiculously small and the penalty for failure is a joke. Alex had a suspicion why the mission value fluctuates so much, but that doesn't happen in the Team Rocket Mission Center. That was a test and even some kind of training for Alex and the other participants. For almost all completed missions Giovanni will make a loss because of the unreasonable rewards, but the point of this mission is not to make a profit for Giovanni or that these missions are fulfilled. Alex had the assumption that these missions fulfill several goals and these unreasonable rewards are only a means for Giovanni so that the participants do not ignore these missions. Many skills are tested and trained even if it is not directly visible at first glance. But Alex did not believe that only the selection and comprehension of mission are tested and trained. The mission itself should bring valuable experience to Alex who has to manage everything or to his subordinates who take part in this mission. Apart from the fact that Alex has the option to take part in missions himself if he finds some that he likes. The more Alex thought about what all this mission should aim at, the more he was impressed by Giovanni's planning. Especially that Giovanni apparently had planned everything from the start was impressive for Alex. Alex stopped meditating when he saw Maria and her Pokémon enter the training room. He looked at the info from Maria's Pokémon. Pokémon. Arbok, LV. 46. Type. Poison. Ability. Intimidate. Gender. Female. Potential. Shallow Diamond. Moves. Poison Sting. Wrap. Leer. Acid. Bite. Haze, Glare, Poison Jab, Stockpile E, Spit Up, Swallow, Slam, Headbutt E. Perfect Talent Iron Tail E. Innate Talent Rock Slide E. TM Protect, TM Sludge Bomb, TM Toxic E. TM Mega Drain, TM Facade, TM Earthquake E. TM Giga Impact, TM Payback, TM Substitute, TM Swagger. Pokémon. Sandslash, LV. 44. Type. Ground. Ability. Sand Veil. Gender. Female. Potential. Shallow Gold. Moves. Defense Curl. Scratch. Poison Sting. Sand Attack. Swift. Fury Swipes. Dig. Swords Dance E. Innate Talent Facade E. Innate Talent Earthquake E. Innate Talent Aerial Ace E. TM Protect. TM Headbutt. TM Rock Slide. TM Shadow Claw. TM Brick Break. TM X Scissor E. Pokémon. Pidgeot, LV. 46. Type. Normal Flying. Ability. Keen Eye. Gender. Female. Potential. Gold. Moves. Tackle. Sand Attack. Gust. Mirror Move E. Quick Attack. Wing Attack. Whirlwind. Agility E. Feather Dance E. Air Slash. Innate Talent Fly E. Innate Talent Roost E. Innate Talent Hyper Beam E. TM Protect. TM Facade. TM Steel Wing. TM U-Turn. TM Substitute. TM Double Team. Pokémon. Nidoqueen. LV. 43. Type. Poison Ground. Ability. Sheer Force Hidden Ability. Gender. Female. Potential. Shallow Gold. Moves. Growl. Scratch. Tail Whip. Poison Sting. Double Kick. Bite. Helping Hand. Toxic E. Superpower. Innate Talent Fire Punch E. Innate Talent Ice Punch E. Innate Talent Thunder Punch E. TM Protect. TM Hyper Beam. TM Rock Slide. TM Sandstorm E. TM Brick Break. TM Sand Tomb. Pokémon. Gabite. LV. 30. Type. Dragon Ground. Ability. Sand Veil. Gender. Male. Potential. Deep Gold. Moves. Tackle. Sand Attack. Dragon Rage. Sandstorm E. Takedown. Sand Tomb. Slash. Innate Talent Thrash E. Innate Talent Dragon Claw E. Innate Talent Draco Meteor E. TM Protect. TM Earthquake. TM Rock Slide. TM Facade. TM Aerial Ace. TM Shadow Claw. Alex gave a weak smile as he saw the potential of Arbok that had improved from the last time he saw it. He also noticed that Arbok had absorbed his items faster than Bastiodon and that faster the Shallow Diamond had reached. Alex believed that maybe the number of items played a role at the time or that Arbok was already close to the Shallow Diamond potential, but he can't be quite sure what the reason was. The Gible to Gabite evolved and could improve his potential didn't surprise Alex because he had seen Maris's Pokémon info before she went into the wild and Gible was level 24 at that time. Alex thought with a serious expression, but all the other Pokémon as Gabite and Arbok should soon start to reach a level where their potential will be a problem. Like Ditto. Single quote. Maria looked at Alex, who was lost in thought, and said softly, "That's not how I imagined my greeting." Chapter 289. Alex, who woke up from the words of Maria, started to look in the direction of Maria with a smile. "What exactly did you expect? Maybe something like that." After he said that, he went to Maria and took her in his arms as he kissed her. Maria showed a smile after they both parted. "Not bad, but it can be done better." Alex shows an expression of curiosity when he says, "How exactly?" Maria put her hand on her head and said, "Men." Then she looked at Alex and said, "You can prepare flowers, gifts or other things for me, or even prepare a romantic meal." Alex said with an ironic tone, "Sure, why not? Should I also treat you like a goddess and kiss the floor you walk on?" Maria didn't get angry but said ironically, "Would it kill you to do this for me? The first thing or the one with kissing the floor?" Quote. Maria's eyes went cold and Alex noticed that she didn't find his good joke funny. Alex gave a gentle smile as he went next to Maria's ear and he whispered a few words. Crobat, who had a good hearing, had a disturbed expression when he heard Alex's words. He thought inwardly, humans really have weird preferences. Maria's eyes got less cold but she still said in a cold tone, "Too little." Alex gave a slightly helpless expression when he said, "What do you want?" Maria smiled as she whispered Alex a few words in his ear. Alex got serious and wondered if he was ready to promise Maria these things. But when he remembers that after the two of them were officially together that he hadn't done any romantic things for Maria, and he agreed with a slight nod. Maria beamed and her smile made Alex feel uncomfortable. She looked at Alex's expression and said, "Don't be such a asterisk asterisk asterisk. I've done that for you too." Alex knew it wasn't that unusual, but he never did anything for his old girlfriend, so that this situation felt a bit weird to him. Maria took a piece of paper from her bag and gave it to Alex with the words, "Am I not good to you?" Alex took the piece of paper and saw the info from Maria, Elise, and Daniel's Pokemon. He already knew the information from Maria, so that he only paid attention to the other two. Daniel, A rank Beedrill at level 41. S rank Butterfree at level 43. S rank Beedrill at level 46. A rank Scyther at level 35. Elise, S rank Fearow at level 36. A rank Gyarados at level 34. A rank Xatu at level 27. Although this list doesn't exactly determine the potential, as if Alex sees these Pokemon himself, it was more than enough to find a suitable mission for his subordinate. Even the potential wasn't really necessary and the level would have been enough. Alex smiled as he said, "You really are a good vice. That should make it a lot easier. But, are you sure?" Maria looked serious. "The level should be about right because I've seen every Pokemon personally. But, I'm not sure about the potential. That is the potential they give me. But because they both know that you have no interest in their S-rank Pokemon, I don't think it is likely that they are lying. Maybe only if they have a Pokemon that has an SS rank potential they would lie." Quote. Alex looked at the list again and saw how Maria had given Arbok the SS rank and showed a smile. Maria saw that too and said, "The items you gave me were really good." Then she said softly, "I still can't believe I have an SS rank Pokemon. It is like a dream." Alex had a soft expression when he said, "You should get used to it. You'll have to soon." Maria didn't say anything and looked passionately at Alex. Alex thought about the potential of Dano and said slightly, "Don't look at me like that. Believe me when I tell you that my present is worth many times less than yours." Then he said in a joking tone, "It almost feels like you're my sugar mama." Maria just smiled when she said so quietly that Alex can't hear it. "You may really feel that way after tonight." Alex saw Maria's smile and just thought it looked cute. Then he gave a sheet of paper to Maria with a playful smile. "This is the mission I have chosen for you. Of course, you have the right to refuse if you do not want it. Mission objective. Train the 10A rank Pokemon and use the items given by your boyfriend to bring them during their evolution to the S rank. Mission duration. Take your time. Failure. Has to compensate her boyfriend with her body. Reward. 50 million TR points. Maria's serious expression disappeared as she read the text. She looked at Alex and said, "Your jokes used to be better." Alex smiled when he said, this is not a joke. Maria looked at Alex and said, you know yourself that you can never count on when an A-rank Pokemon will become an S-rank Pokemon even if you use good items during their evolution. Quote, there are a lot of people who have tried something like that too, but it is a dangerous way to earn money because there is no sure way to get success with it. In such a gambling-like business, you want to give me 50 million Pokédollars. That's a joke. Then she looked at Alex gently and said, you don't need to try to play me a trick like that to give me money. Even though I'm not as rich as you, I have a lot of money. I don't need your money. Alex just looked at Maria as he said seriously, that's not a trick or a joke. Each of these A-rank Pokemon is Pokemon of a good species so that it can be sold for a very good price as soon as these Pokemon reach the S rank. Even if I deduct the money for items, the Pokemon themselves, and your payment, I'll earn almost as much as you earn. Quote, Maria looked at Alex and said seriously, but you can't be sure that all 10 A-rank Pokemon will reach the S rank. It is already lucky if more than 3 reach the S rank after their evolution. Alex said, each of these 10 Pokemon had both parents with a born S rank talent. The chance is extremely high that almost each of these 10 A-rank Pokemon can reach the S rank after their first evolution. Alex, of course, didn't know the potential of the parents of the 10 A-rank Pokemon and only knew that each of these Pokemon had a deep silver potential. Together with the fact that they are all on a relatively low level and have not yet experienced an evolution, Alex thinks that the chance is very good that all 10 A-rank Pokemon will reach the S rank after their first evolution. Most of the Pokemon species out of the 10 A rank are Pokemon species that are from the Pokemon that Alex bought to prepare for the rookie test. He took the chance and bought a lot of Deep Silver Pokemon when Team Rocket sold to him that many A-rank Pokemon. Alex kept almost all of the Deep Silver Pokemon and was just waiting for a chance to earn a fortune from it. He always had this idea, but it wasn't easy to find first stage Deep Silver Pokemon, especially those with a popular species. But when Team Rocket helped him to buy so many A-rank Pokemon, Alex knew it was the perfect chance. Chapter 290. Maria looked at Alex with a surprised expression. Huh, where did you get this info from? Alex smiled as he continued his prepared story. I have a connection who had many of these Pokemon and I trust him that he won't cheat me regarding the potential. Maria heard Alex say this and suddenly felt that Alex trusted her. She knew that such a contact is extremely valuable and that it can be very dangerous for Alex if people find out about it. Especially because Alex's strength is not enough to deter some greedy people from making more than 100 million Pokédollars. Team Rocket is a good shield for Alex, but with such a huge amount of money, it can quickly happen that you become the target of a few greedy people. Maria felt very happy but showed a sarcastic expression when she said, wow, you really have other people you trust than me. Alex rolled his eyes. Hey, don't pretend I have no friends. This time it was Maria's turn to roll her eyes when she said, you mean Steven? Wow, a whole friend and me. I am really impressed. And before Alex could say anything, Maria said with a smile, and don't come to me with not humane friends. Alex, who wanted to say exactly that, showed an expression of surprise as Maria could guess his answer so easily. After a pause, he looked at Maria and said, why can't I say it? Maria showed a smile of a winner when she said, I thought you saw them as your family. Or was that a lie? Then she looked playful at Alex, and toward his Pokemon who were looking at them both. It seems as if the conversation unfolds the interest of almost all Pokemon in this room as they look in the direction of the couple. Alex noticed the looks and realized that Maria had pushed him into a trap. But after a second he said with a smile, I see my Pokemon as my family but also as friends. Both things don't have to be mutually exclusive. Maria looked at Alex and just said quietly, bad loser. What are you talking about? I haven't lost. Maria looked at Alex and said, why do you suddenly become such a bad loser? Even after your first defeat to me, you were a lot cuter. Alex felt a bit uncomfortable when he heard the word, cute, to describe him. Are you mad at me? Maria started to smile slightly as she looked at Alex. No, I can't stand being mad at you for a long time. You're just too cute. Alex tried not to show on his face how much he bothered being called cute when he said, why do I hear the word cute more often than the word handsome when you describe me? Can't you even be nice to your boyfriend? Maria's smile grew bigger when she noticed how annoyed Alex was. Oh, you have more cute parts than you think. Alex's mood got a bit better as the situation became more and more ridiculous. He even slightly laughed at Maria's joke. He looked at Maria with an intense look when he said, I can. Tonight, show you which of us will act cute. Maria blushed a bit when she understood the hint, but she quickly hid it. She looked at Alex and said seriously, not tonight. You promised me the other thing. Alex started to laugh when he realized how much Maria was looking forward to tonight. Maria and Alex trained together for a few more hours. Before Alex went alone to his room to select a mission for Elise and Daniel. He didn't want to delay any longer and he didn't want to give the same mission to both of them when he had given Maria. Elise or Daniel are not the people Alex really trusted, so he was not willing to give them the same mission as Maria. Alex can't allow the information that he had a contact person who has many A-rank Pokemon that have an extremely high probability of reaching S rank after an evolution. This is comparable to a gold mine. Even if this information is a lie, it is a dangerous thing if this information reaches the wrong person. Alex only trusted Steven, Maria, and his Pokemon. He looked again at the info from Maria and Daniel Pokemon. Daniel, A-rank Beedrill at level 41. S-rank Butterfree at level 43. S-rank Beedrill at level 46. A-rank Scyther at level 35. Elise, S-rank Fearow at level 36. A-rank Gyarados at level 34. A-rank Zadu at level 27. Alex remembers Daniel's Pokemon level when he made him his subordinate and realized one thing. Why after almost 3 months is Daniel's Butterfree not on a similar level as Beedrill? What is Daniel doing? Both were on a similar level and now the gap is so big. Single quote. Butterfree was only 1 level lower than Daniel's S-rank Beedrill, but after almost 3 months that changed. Alex knew that it couldn't be because of the potential. A shallow gold Pokemon only starts at level 45 and slows down to a level, so there should be no reason for it to happen. What most confused Alex was why the A-rank Beedrill levels faster than Butterfree after almost 3 months. Alex showed a serious expression when he thought, I hope it's another reason. He had a suspicion, but he hoped that Daniel had another reason why Butterfree levels so slowly.